Chen, Han-dian and Lulu announce surprise marriage. KMT concedes flaw in fiscal allocation law. Minister dismisses blackout rumors after Hsinta fire. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk shot dead at Utah College event. Poland shoots down huge number of Russian drones. Alzheimer's blood test could revolutionize diagnosis. Vaccine to curb Chlamydia Epidemic Decimating Koalas approved. Tyson and Mayweather to fight in exhibition match.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It's Friday, September 12th, World Dolphin Day, and here are your top stories. And for today's Taiwan news, Taiwanese entertainers Chen, Han-dian and Lulu surprised fans by announcing their marriage on September 11th, skipping the daily reveal. Rumors say their wedding will be held in January. Many celebrities offer congratulations, including Lulu's idol, singer-songwriter Paige Su, who even volunteered to perform at the ceremony, sparking excitement online. Taiwan's opposition KMT acknowledged flaws in the revised revenue allocation formula, saying offshore counties should be calculated separately from the 19 mainland counties. Legislator Lai Shibao admitted the oversight, while party chairman Eric Chu also noted defects. The KMT pledged swift amendments, with Matsu legislator Chen already initiating the revision. A fire broke out at Kaohsiung's Hsinta power plant on September 9th, sparking rumors of a 10-day power alert and rolling blackouts. Economics Minister Gong Mingxing dismissed the claims, saying new units and backup systems ensure stability. He stressed reserves remain above 6%, with daytime solar power sometimes pushing capacity to 17%. And in global news, Charlie Kirk, an influential conservative activist and a close ally of U.S. President Donald Trump, was shot dead while speaking at an event at a university in Utah. He had been invited to speak at Utah Valley University and was seated under a white gazebo addressing a crowd of about 3,000 people in the quad, an outdoor bow-shaped courtyard. According to video and eyewitnesses, he was responding to a question about gun violence when a single shot rang out around 12:20 local time.
Kirk can be seen recoiling in his chair, with blood visible on his neck, before the terrified crowd started running. He was rushed to the hospital in a private vehicle. Hours later, Trump confirmed his death in a post on Truth Social. The university campus has since been evacuated as authorities search for the shooter. Kirk's wife and 2 children were at the scene but are safe. No one else at the event or on campus was injured. Law enforcement officials say the killer is believed to have fired the fatal shot from the roof of a building near the courtyard where Kirk was speaking. They added that they are reviewing CCTV footage and believe the suspect was dressed in dark clothing.
Poland said it shut down Russian drones that entered its airspace during an attack on Ukraine, a first for a NATO member state since the Kremlin invaded its neighbor. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said last night Polish airspace was violated by the huge number of Russian drones. Those drones that posed a direct threat were shut down. The Polish military's operational command said it had neutralized a number of potential security threats after radars tracked them crossing into Polish airspace.
The military had advised people to stay home while the operation was ongoing, citing at-risk areas near the border with western Ukraine, but said hours later that it had concluded its operations. It thanked NATO Air Command and the Dutch Air Force, which it said scrambled F-35 fighter jets. Tusk said he was in touch with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. This is the first time Poland, or NATO assets, have directly engaged with Russian targets since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. It marks the latest escalation in Moscow's aerial bombardment of Ukraine, in defiance of the peace deal that President Donald Trump has tried to broker with Kyiv.
More than 1,000 people across the UK with suspected dementia are to be offered a blood test for Alzheimer's disease, which could revolutionize diagnosis. The blood test can detect biomarkers for rogue proteins that accumulate in the brains of patients with the condition and will be used alongside pen and paper cognitive tests, which often misdiagnose it in its early stages. Patients will be recruited at 20 memory clinics as part of the study, which aims to assess how well the test works within the NHS.
Scientists leading the trial at University College London believe the blood test will improve the accuracy of diagnosis from 70% to more than 90% and want to see how that helps patients and clinicians. Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia and is associated with the buildup in the brain of two rogue proteins, amyloid and tau, which can accumulate for up to 20 years before symptoms emerge. The new blood test, which costs around £100, measures a biomarker called p-tau 217, which reflects the presence of both proteins. However, these gold standard tests are not part of routine Alzheimer's diagnosis, and only 2% of patients ever receive them.
A vaccine that could save Australia's endangered koala population from a rampant chlamydia epidemic has been approved for rollout for the first time. University of the Sunshine Coast scientists have spent more than a decade developing a jab to curb the spread of the disease, which has decimated wild koala populations across most of eastern Australia. Peter Timms said some individual wild colonies where infection rates can be as high as 70% are edging closer to extinction every day.
With approval from regulators now secured, he said the team hoped for major funding to distribute the vaccine to wildlife hospitals, vet clinics, and koalas in the wild. Chlamydia, which is transmitted by close contact or mating, can cause painful urinary tract infections, conjunctivitis, blindness, and infertility in koalas, and is often fatal. It is a different strain from the one found in humans, while joeys can catch it through feeding in their mother's pouch. But treatment can be deadly too. Koalas infected with chlamydia are usually given antibiotics, but this destroys the gut bacteria that allow them to digest eucalyptus leaves, their primary food source, and can lead to starvation.
Former world champions Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather are set to compete in an exhibition bout next year. The event will be put on by CSI Sports/Fight Sports, but details regarding the date, location, broadcasters, and rules have yet to be announced. Tyson is a former undisputed heavyweight champion, while Mayweather retired undefeated after 50 fights, winning multiple titles across several weight classes. Tyson is competing for the first time since ending his 19-year retirement in November.
He spent the entirety of his career, which yielded 50 wins from 59 fights, at heavyweight, while the latter stages of Mayweather's career were at welterweight. Mayweather, who has won titles across 5 weight classes, has competed in several exhibition bouts since retiring in 2017. Formal winners are not usually declared in exhibitions, and the results do not count toward either fighter's career record. They are two of the biggest names boxing has known: Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, and Mayweather, the unbeaten 5-weight king. On paper, a matchup between the pair sounds like the stuff of fantasy, but in reality, it's a very different story.
The answer for yesterday was C, nepotism. The company was accused of nepotism for hiring the CEO's relatives. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk shot dead at Utah college event. Number 1, evacuate. 撤离被疏散. The residents were evacuated from the area after the earthquake. Number 2, enforcement. 执行强制执行. The new traffic law requires strict enforcement to be effective. Number 3, fatal. 致命的,严重的. The driver suffered fatal injuries in the accident. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced next week. The inaugural World Dolphin Day was celebrated in 2022 with the support of Sea Shepherd Global. The event honors the world's most devastating slaughter of cetaceans in recorded history. On September 12, 2021, more than 1,400 dolphins were killed off the Faroe Islands as part of a cultural tradition. Since then, the government of the Faroe Islands has been under scrutiny for this brutal practice. And that's all for today's FUNDAY News. Be sure to tune in to FUNDAY News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host, and I'll see you next time.